Hi, I'm Dustin Hoffman, and I'm going to show you how to make a floating bookshelf. One of these right here. It's fairly easy to do, and it'll look like this when it's finished. It'll look like the books are all floating. How wonderful. That's what it looks like without the books stacked on them. These are the tools and materials you're going to need to make your floating bookshelf. A book that you don't mind destroying that will look cool on your wall. Here's an early edition of Ellison's Invisible Man. Drill. You'll want these L brackets is what I suggest. You can get them for a couple of bucks at any of the big box stores. A couple of drywall screws or longer screws to hit a stud, as well as some anchors, utility knife, and hot glue gun. Alright, the first step is a little book destruction. So open your book up to the very back, and then take your L brackets and space them apart a pretty good amount. Just trace around them. It doesn't have to be perfect in any sense. We're just marking out where we're going to cut. And you probably want to get about, the width of one of these L brackets. So a few cuts, and you should be in pretty good shape. Getting through probably 20-30 pages. Oh, a little messy, but it shouldn't take too long. I have now my spaces cut out for my L brackets. What you want to make sure is that the book will close. So it might take a little bit of trial and error, but once you have your L brackets deep enough, you can fix them into the book. So you're screwing into the actual pages, and you want to use might as well use all 4 spots. And when you're all screwed in, it should look something like this. Alright, I'll show you how to find a stud. Since I have textured walls here, and I find stud finders don't work incredibly well on them. So most studs are 16 inches apart. So I know I have a stud here, and you can hear kind of a difference when you're tapping. So it's 16 inches. This will be my next stud. I'm just kind of roughly marking where I'll be screwing in. Now that you've put your L brackets into the book, you'll need to glue it closed. So you'll want to glue on the actual L bracket, since the pages would just come up. And I'm being generous here. Close her up and probably just press it for a few minutes or let it sit on the floor for a while. Now that you've found your stud, you're going to be ready to level out your bookshelf. So set the bracket along the stud side. One more tool you're going to need is a level. And I actually would recommend opening it up so you can get to both the holes on your L bracket, and then get it level. And you can use a pen or a pencil to mark all of your holes. I've already done that here. And before we start putting any screws in, we're going to want to set anchors on the other side. So we have studs on one side, I'll put anchors on the other. It's probably way over the top, but I like to be able to hang off of my bookshelf. I can stack books to the ceiling. So these are my favorite kind of anchors, and you can get these at any of the big box stores, but you drill them in, and then you can screw right into them. It beats the heck out of a lot of the other anchors that you have to drill pilot holes for. We should be all set now to screw in our shelf. So put it in the stud side. Here's my anchor side. Once you have the first two in, it's pretty easy going from there. So we've screwed on our shelf. We have our bottom glued on there so it won't fall out. And we're ready to go with our floating shelf. And since Ellison didn't write too many novels, we'll use Ellison to display our George Saunders collection. And there we go. That's everything you need for making a floating bookshelf.